Well, here we are again, folks. All set for a one-loss side match in the VP4 8-ball bar table world championship. The only problem is the match starts in about 3 minutes, and looking at the list of players in the lobby, none of the two players involved are in. Acero is one of them, and he was here a few minutes ago, but he's since gone. And Bedhead, who's the other player, he's yet to show. So we're looking at a very tight time here for both players to get into the lobby, and it might be a very short stream. What we'll do is we'll have a quick look at the bracket and see where this match is. It's a round 9 match on the one-loss side. Race to 9. Acero from Japan. Now, where the hell's Bedhead from again? Is he Canada? I can't remember. We'll find out if they both appear. But that's the match that we're hoping to see. And until one or both players shows up, well, we need both obviously to have a match, but it isn't looking too healthy, so it might be very short this stream, and we'll just delete it as well if it comes to it. Bedhead very often leaves it to the last minute to just drop in, but he can't leave it much later than this. This room is about to go up in the next minute and a half. Another look at the bracket. If we go down the way, we can see that Tommy Yu is set to play River City. Sorry, Tommy U's already beaten River City. Now, is that a match I missed? I think it is. I don't know when, or did I stream that one? I'm getting totally confused. I can't remember. Maybe they played and I didn't stream it, but I'll need to check and see what I've got in the archive. So, of course, on the other side, we've got Frankel about to play semi-pro at some point, but they've got quite a while to arrange their match, and certainly not worthwhile doing it until these matches are gone in the one-loss side. So Bedhead has just arrived. Just let him know. Oh, there he is. Oh. So we do have a match, and both players are here. Oh, good afternoon, Bill. Yeah, I would have been at work if it was yesterday morning your time, or I'm trying to think where I was yesterday. Yeah, I don't know when they arranged it. Yeah, so obviously it is a match I missed, and it would have been probably a good enough match to actually have streamed and archived it, but that's what happens. Right, the room is up. We will get in. Both players going to lag off. Now there's something different about this, is there, Bill? Is this a different table? Or am I just getting totally confused? Maybe I am. I'm getting totally confused and numbed here. I thought it was a different table. Or have I changed the cloth colour or something? I don't know what's happened. Anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember being in. I'd never used this bloody room, so I've never changed the cloth colour. Let's have a look. Is it meant to be blue? Let's have a look. Table colour, default colour, that's what it is. Right, that's better. No wonder I'm bloody confused. I'm thinking, why the hell's it? You know what I did? I think I changed the colour of the... Now, that's what bugs me about this game. I think I changed the colour of the cloth in the Hard Times room. And look what happens. It messes up the colour of the cloth in another room. Thing's totally goosed. Anyway, forget that. We're in the first rack, and the first ball has been potted, and acero is on the solids. And we've got a 4 ball tied up on the left hand side of the table next to the 9 ball. That's a dead ball at the moment, and we'll see how each player deals with the problem balls, because that's the priority in this game. If you're going to run racks, you've got to deal with problem situations. And I don't know, I don't think he's got the angle in that 1 ball to be able to do it. Let's have a look. Has he? No, far too tight. Has to baby that into the pocket. Once again, for anybody who hasn't seen this before, this is an alternate break tournament, and the one lost side is just a race to 9. There's no jump cues, there's no shot clock. The safety has been played, and Bedhead comes to the table with not a lot on, it has to be said. And that's a pretty good safety. And what he's actually done there, acero, is he's freed up the 4 ball and he's left it perfectly safe. So the danger here for Bedhead is to try and do something in return. Now the only lifeline is the fact that acero's 5 ball's dead on this rail, so it's going nowhere at the moment. So that's the sort of safety net there for Bedhead. So maybe not quite as important about the safety, because the other problem is acero would need to play that 6 ball, that green 6, and try and get the cue ball down into the 11 to open up the 5 ball. Possibly that's a possibility of a shot, but you have to get good on the 6. So we're looking way ahead here. But meanwhile, Bedhead has played his shot. Acero has a shot on. And it's tight. He's trying to avoid the 8 ball. Well, that's left the 7 ball hung up, blocking that pocket. Now, will Bedhead play the combo in the 11 and the 14? Because that is a dangerous shot to play. Although it's being positive and dealing with 2 problem balls in this bottom rail, that's then opening up the table for that 5 ball in the bottom of the table. He's now got 2 problem areas that he has to deal with, and that's the pink 12 stripe ball on the right hand side, along with the 13 ball just near the right middle pocket. So Bedhead has got problems to deal with. The 4 ball's now tied up with the 9 ball on the left hand side. So this rack is up in the air as to who's going to win it, most certainly. I think he can barely see enough of the 7 ball. He can certainly pot it by just hitting half the ball. That would certainly pot the 7. And that's just basically to keep the run going. Well, now he's got no shot other than the 4 ball, which, well, it'd be brave to do that. He could play the combo on the 4 and the 9, and that would get rid of the 9 ball blocking the path for the 4 ball. But of course, doing that, if he pots the 9, he's going to concede control of the table to Bedhead. Bedhead's going to be coming in. It'll be the end of Acero's innings, as they say. So rather than do that, it makes no difference. It's a more negative shot, but it's a more safety conscious shot. Right, we're going to have a bit of safety going on here for the time being. Just give me 2 minutes. Right, we are back. So we're still in this first rack. Table's now opened up slightly. 6 ball and the 15 on the left hand side here, just to the left of the cue ball. They're still sort of partially locked up. Now, that might be, let's have a look. Oh, that 6 ball won't pass the 15. I thought that could have been a mistake there by Bedhead. So Acero gets rid of his 5 ball, and now he's 2 straight on this 4. Now, can he see enough of that 6 to pot it? Let's have a look. I think from a certain angle, and there's not an awful margin to work with here, but from that angle there, like the line that he's on, he may well still send this to the jaw, but this is all or nothing. The other problem being he has to make sure he leaves a decent shot in the 8. Yeah, it goes in, no problem. Plenty of room. So it turned out that that was a poor shot by Bedhead. It's cost him. And I think maybe like me, Bedhead wasn't sure about the 6 ball, but when you looked at it, you could see that it would go from a certain position, and acero got perfect on that 6 ball. And so we are about 13 minutes into the match, and that's the end of the first rack. And a tight first rack goes to acero. But essentially the mistake was made in the safety there, and that let acero in. And that rack has gone against the break as well, because Bedhead broke off. And acero breaking off in rack number 2, and he's had a ball in the break as well. But we've still got an open table, and I'll have a little drink if I can find my bottle. And while I'm doing that, I'll get a little plug in. See if we get anybody interested. So acero's committed. He's going for the stripes. And we've got, well, the only problem stripe really is that 9 ball on the right hand rail next to the 6 ball. And Bedhead has got no shot really to break that 9 ball out. And certainly from where he is now in this 10 ball, sorry, acero, I mean, no, did I say acero? I'm so busy concentrating on the lay of the balls, I'm forgetting who's at the table. But looking at that, he's not doing anything with that 9 ball. Now you might think here that the best bet is a bank on that 9 ball. Get the cue ball like some are there. Well, he's managed to come back off the end rail. A little bit of right English to kick into the 9, and he's again, it's worked out perfect for acero. It was a good shot. And this is the thing I was mentioning as well in previous matches, that there's sometimes during a rack where you just have to grab the bull by the horns and go for it. If you have any semblance of a chance of breaking that ball out, then it's worth your while going for it. Because there's no point at the end of the rack saying, well, I should have done this and I should have done that, if you've ended up losing the rack. We'll need another good shot though, because although he can pot the 14, he's probably going to just brush off that 1 ball. If he doesn't hit it too hard, he'll brush off the 1 and probably leave that into the middle, or might even leave it long. And that's giving him a shot. The only slight problem is he's going to probably have to take it into the middle, I think, because that, well, if he takes it long, he's going to have to run this cue ball and leave an awkward cut in the 1 in the 8. It's just not a great angle. He's going to have to dig into it. Now let's have a look and see what the options are, because the 8 passes the 1. Well, that's okay. It's still a shot. It's a high angle, but you just got to be careful, because this 1 ball looks as if it's going to double in size when you're trying to squeeze the 8 ball past it. But he's got it clean. So in the end, we've had 2 solid racks from acero, and more importantly, after winning that first rack, he's broke and running the second rack, and that really rams home his advantage. A well-earned win in the first rack. So now Bedhead has to respond, and he's broke off in rack number 3. A couple of balls have gone. And yet the table is perfect. This is something that Bedhead will odds on that he's going to run this rack. He just has to make his final decision on what set of balls he's going to go for, but in all honesty, there is no excuse here. Players of this standard, I'm fully expecting them to run the table. But, as we say, there's so much traffic in the table, very easy to get yourself tied up or locked up or blocked out. You just overhit something or underhit it slightly. That can be your undoing. So he's gone for the solid balls. Well, that 6 ball he's ended up dead straight, I think. Let's have a look. He's managed to come back, and that gets rid of the... If there's going to be a problem ball, it's the 3 ball. He needs to get that out the way, and then of course the other one that he has to deal with eventually is the 2 ball. You've got to get out into the table to have a shot in the 8. Now here's the important shot, and I think he's dead straight on this 5 as well. Now if he draws off the 5, I don't think he can avoid the 9. This is him going to take a risk here. Let's see what he does. Is he going forward and trying to pinch an angle? Because if he draws back, he's drawn into the 9. The angle it hits the rail and the angle the cue ball comes off the rail is going to hit that 9, and it's going to probably leave him half a shot in the 2 if he's lucky. If he goes forward and pinches an angle, he can maybe squeeze off the rail and come down, but even then, that's not guaranteed. Well, he's going back the way. Oh, that's worked out perfect. He's managed to find a gap, avoid the 9, and finish perfect in the 2. So the only other thing to do now is to find a gap on the 8, and he's done that. So that has been well worked out. Pressure was on there for Bedhead to respond, and he has duly obliged. So it's 2 racks to 1. Break goes back to acero in rack number 4, and Bedhead is looking for a break here, and he's not going to get it. It's not a dry break. Couple of balls going in, but look where the 8 ball is. The 8 ball's in the top rail, stuck next to the 2 and going nowhere. So it's stripes. We've got 2 of those at the top end, and we've got the 2 solids at the top end as well. And acero, well, he's tempted by the 10 ball. The 10 ball, well, that will pot. He just has to hit it with enough force and cut it with enough force for it to get to the pocket, but it's hard to judge what is best to go for here. I mean, he's tried his best there to get down and split those 2 balls. He's now scratched, so the mistake has been made. Ball in hand for Bedhead, but well, he's going to make the decision straight away. He is going to try and pot that 7, draw into the 8, and nudge the 2 out, I would assume. Well, because he was so close, he couldn't actually generate enough power to move balls very far, so it's actually not made a great deal of difference, although he's going to have acero in trouble here. Well, he should have had him in a lot more trouble because he hasn't got that cue ball hidden. And although I don't know whether can he actually see enough of that? No, he can't, but he shouldn't have been able to see any of his own balls there, acero. And there wasn't an awful lot that acero could do to actually prevent Bedhead having a shot. Well, let's double check that 8 ball. The 8 ball goes, so that's not a problem. But the problem is the rest of the balls that are at the bottom of the table that Bedhead's having to get rid of before he gets that 8 ball. But he's got a big area to get into to have a shot in the 8. You know, even from the middle pocket and beyond it at this end of the table, he's still got a cut. So not as much pressure on to get great position on the 8 ball. The 8 ball goes, and it certainly cuts from a distance. Well, if he plays the 6, that's a risky shot because he has to make sure he gets that cue ball out and avoids that 15 ball as a blocker for a shot in the 4, which is why he's taking the 4 instead. That was a danger. Now he needs a bit of left-hand English. Let's have a look at that 6 ball. Well, he needs a fair wee bit of left-hand English to avoid the 15 if he's coming down. He has to come this way. I mean, if he's going to come on the short side, that's asking a lot. But he's got down, and he's got the shot. So this for 2 racks all. And that one has gone against the break as well. So we're into rack number 5. And I think this rack, I might be wrong, but I think this is the first dry break. It seems like it to me. So acero coming to the table. We've got what, 1, 2, 3. We've got 4 solids all racked up together at the top right hand corner, and we've got another solid and the 8 ball and a stripe, the 11 ball on the left hand side. So acero immediately pots a solid and breaks out the 8 ball. But he's certainly got a place to hide, although that 9 and 11 ball are down there in the stripes. But these balls as they are at the moment aren't any good to him. They're only good for cover. The one thing though is, if he was to play the 4 ball, if he potted, well, he can't even pot the 3 if you look at that. It's a tight angle into the middle. But if he got a shot on that 4, he can easily break these balls, no problem. But he's far from doing that. Well, he's got the 3 into the middle. Well, and he's got an angle he can pinch off this 4 as well. He needs to get into this with a bit of power to force some movement on those balls. And you can see that's the problem. It's generating enough power to get those balls moving. And it's not even... Well, he's left a combo. He's got a combo in the 1 and the 7. The 6 isn't a problem on the left hand side. It's just a matter of getting out into the table and getting a shot in the 6. But really, he has to take the combo. Now, does he hit the combo hard enough to try and break the 5 ball out at the same time? That's been really aggressive. But I don't even think he can do it. Let's have a look at the angle he has to hit that 1. If he's hitting the 1 there to make the 7, he can't come back, I don't think. Let's have a look. Cue ball. Well, the cue ball's going that way if he's cutting the 1 onto the 7 to make the pot. So cue ball's not going to be going near the 5. Yep. Well, he's missed the combo, but he's opened up the 7. 5 still locked to the 14, which now that Acero has missed, Bedhead's got that problem. Bedhead took the chance. Still blocked off by the 7 ball, although there's a path down to this bottom right hand corner. The question is can Bedhead find that gap at the top end of the table somehow? I don't think so. Certainly not from where he is in this 11 ball. And he's calling the bank, or the cut. Calling the bank. Once again, this is an all or nothing shot. It has to go in. If he misses, you'd think Acero would be looking at taking a chance, but where he's left the cue ball, he's left... What's he left here, is that? Oh, the 1's on. I thought they were tight there from this end. So this is Acero's chance. And they're all in the open. It's just about dropping off this. Is that the 3 ball or the 5 ball? Can't see from this distance. It's the 5. Now he's got a bit more angle than he would like on this 5 ball, but he doesn't need to do anything with the cue ball, I don't think. Let's see if the scratch is on. Well, there's a little bit. He's got to be a little bit careful. He might be going to the far jaw of that middle pocket. Yeah, that's a worry. He's missed the 5. Just a bit of doubt in the mind there about that scratch in the middle pocket. A little bit hesitant in the shot, and it wasn't easy either. So Bedhead, well, maybe unexpectedly, is back at the table. And from 2-0 down, he looks a strong favourite to go into the lead by 3 racks to 2 any minute now. And so it is. Break goes back to Acero, and he's now trailing by 3 racks to 2. Couple of balls in. Unfortunately, I think one of them was a cue ball. So that may well be costly if Bedhead can play from this ball in hand in the kitchen. It's going to be the combo in the 15 ball to open up the pocket. So it's the stripes. Only one ball at the bottom end of the table here for Bedhead, and that's the 10 ball. And he's going to come down to deal with it. In actual fact, I don't think it would make a difference, because if he plays the 10 from where he is now as the last ball, he's got the open shot on the 8 to the top left hand corner pocket. So he's taking the 13 into the middle. And this is the only tricky shot here. Well, certainly the first tricky shot is leaving himself a shot on that 14 and not blocking himself out. He needs a little bit of draw, but not too much. And this is the thing about judging these shots. So he's gone to the rail, come off it. Bit of a cutback now. Now the other problem with this shot is the natural angle of the cue ball. If you just hit it plain ball, it's going to go that way, and come out here somewhere. So if you start putting left spin on it when it hits the rail, it's going to go that way and come out this way more, and he's in danger of hitting the 3. So this is I would say it's a bit of a close your eyes shot and just hope for the best that you at least get yourself a shot. And of course he can't leave himself down this side because the 8 ball doesn't pass the 4. Well, he's drawn it back to try and leave it in the middle, and that's not bad. He's got the cut. And he's got the choice, so he's going to take it into the corner. So the draw was the way of avoiding going all around the corner. But it's about judging the pace in those type of shots as well, just to get at least give yourself a sight on it. So that's a significant rack, because Bedhead has got a 2 rack lead now, 4 racks to 2. And now the pressure is on Acero to respond, but this time Bedhead's broke off, got a ball on the break, and these balls, again, these are so inviting. There isn't a problem ball on the table. Well, Bedhead's chosen the stripes. And if you look at this bottom end here, this is the only potential problem area, is these 2 balls. I mean, yes, they're wide open in the sense, but we've got a blocking ball here, and this has to be dealt with. And from this shot on the 10, there's a possibility he can leave the combo on the 9 and the 13. Now, the question is what he played there. Did he play that too much, or did he play to get on the 13? We'll never know. Well, he's got the 13, and he's still got a shot in the 9. And he's now got to find the window. The window of opportunity is between the 2 and the 3. The angle he's got in the 9 should be good to come over here somewhere and find that gap. The big gap is this line here to that line there, and he has to get in that area, and that's what he managed to do. And the safest place here, well, I don't, he's a bit straight in the 14 to get, well, this is risky, and he's blocked himself off. That was the only problem there, was the fact he was straight on his last straight ball. So now he's going to have to bend around this 4 ball. And he didn't get into it enough. So Bedhead there, just running out of line. And acero, well, we all know the saying, he just simply has to run the table. He's trailing 4-2 in a race to 9. And this is a must-win rack from where he is. And I would suggest, even at this stage, that if he doesn't run this rack, he's probably going to lose the match because of it. Because it's so difficult to get yourself back into a match with alternate brakes system. It really is. You're just always fighting against it. And then it comes down to that locking the brake, getting a ball, getting a run out. And then, or alternatively, getting nothing but dry brakes and getting nothing at all. And he should be home and dry. This is all too easy. Just a little kill shot. Well, that I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with that shot. I'd have played the kill shot to be 100% safe and sure that I was never going to be anywhere near that 8 ball, but it was okay. So a crucial rack there for acero to steal. And more importantly as well, although he's back to within 1 rack, he's also got the break. So desperate for a ball in the break. And this is where you have to make the most of it. He's got the ball in the break. Okay, the table's a bit ugly looking in one particular spot. If you look at the 10 ball and the 4 and the 1, they're locked up there. So he's chose the solids. Now he's got possibly an angle off this 3 ball to maybe run into this set of 3 here and open them up. Well, that's not bad. A little nudge. The 4 ball is free as long as you can get behind it into this bottom right hand corner, but that could actually happen now. Possible off this 1 ball. If he can squeeze past the 4, well, he's had the angle to nudge into the 10. But now things are getting more difficult. The angle he's got in the 4 is not great either. Let's have a look from this side. Now, he might be able to play this with right English to come out, avoid the 10 and at least leave the cut in the 7. He didn't need it. He's still okay. He's got the shot in the 7 if he wants to take it now. But he might not get a better chance of getting on that 6, so that's the dilemma. And if he takes the 6, the problem is he's going to leave himself way too high in the 7 to hold and get a shot in the 8. This is by far and away not finished, this rack. Welcome to the stream. I've been streaming the matches from this tournament for the last month. And if you want to see any of the matches, you go to my YouTube channel, 9ball.com on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch the matches that I've streamed live. So Acero now has got no option. He's going to have to run this cue ball up and down the table and hope he gets on the 8. Simple as that. Well, I don't think he went with that with an awful lot of conviction, because look at where the cue ball's finished. Absolutely no shot in the 8 had he potted that 7. And now Bedhead comes to the table. He's got problems to deal with. Oh, well. Well, it's a miss by Bedhead, but in actual fact, has he blocked out the 7? Well, he's going to have to jack the cue up an awful lot more. This is, you've got to play this at a certain pace to get around it and just get it to the nudge. Oh, that's perfect. And that's even better because he's gone beyond the 11 and he can cut the 8. Worked out absolutely perfect. What a bonus this is for Acero. Probably thought that his chance had gone there. And then Bedhead missed that shot. So we're back all square again. 4 racks all. So a good response from Acero. He's taking his chance from 2-0 up, ending up going 4 racks to 2 behind, and then managing to square it all up. Now Bedhead's calling for quiet because one of the spectators is passing comment, which is fair enough. But the other option that Bedhead's got, and as does Acero, is you just need to right click the player's name like that. Sorry, just click on his name, not right click it. Left click it and then just hit ignore. And that's you ignoring that particular person. So they can type and chat as much as they want, but you won't be able to see any of it. Anyway, back to the match. Bedhead and Acero tied up 4 racks all in this race to 9 in the 1 lost side. Round 9 in the 1 lost side. Acero at the table on the solids. And Acero looks odds on to go back into the lead here. Table sitting perfect, 8 ball wide open. His last ball more than likely going to be the 1. Now he needs a wee nudge through here just to get this cue ball up, and that's perfect. So from 2-0 up to go 4-2 down, and now Acero has won 3 in a row and he's back into the lead, 5 racks to 4, and he's also back on the break as well in rack number 10. But once again, just when he wants to ram home that advantage, he's come up dry in the break, and another break where the balls are sitting perfect. Not one touching one, none stuck to a rail. The they're not really blocking one another if you just get good position on them. They're all there. They all want to be potted. I think Bedhead's problem is he doesn't have a great deal of choice as to what he's going to go for first. He's going to have to take the stripes, looks like, or that solid 6 ball. But either way, he's going to cut one into the right middle pocket, and he's made the decision. And well, he'll be hoping he can see that 2 ball. He certainly can see the 4 as well, and can drop in on that 5. And that's the problem ball at the top end of the table going to be taken care of once he gets rid of that 5 ball in the rail. I think he's okay. 2 ball goes past the 3, no problem. He just got slightly the wrong angle in this 2. He's heading towards the 11 ball, so that's why he's digging down. And he's hoping he's still got a shot in the 3. But as it is now, he's blocked out. So it's going to have to be the combo. And that's a 7 onto the 3. And it needs to be reasonably gentle. He doesn't want this this 7 ball to be rolling away somewhere. Where's the 7 ball ended up? Well, that's fine. And he's also landed perfect in the 1. The biggest problem now is how he gets to the 8 ball. So if he takes the 1, he's going to probably, now that angle in the 7, if you draw it and you draw and find a gap with a 14 and a 9, he has to find that gap, or he's going forward with left to come down here. This has got to be judging the pace as well, because that's the problem. He's blocked himself out. Now that is a poor shot. That's poor. Because I think I'd need to see the replay, because he's obviously got far too much English on it for it to go into the angles and come that way. It just needed a feather to come down the line. So he's calling the kick on the 8 ball. Oh, and he's scratched. So there's a crucial mistake by Bedhead. Golden opportunity to square the match. He's blown it, and he's given ball in hand to Acero with a 5-4 lead. Now, what does Mr. Bill want? So Acero is 4 balls away from opening up a 2-rack lead again. And the 2-rack lead, I'll say that again, the 2-rack lead that he had was right at the beginning of the match. 2-0 up, and then ended up going 4-2 down, getting it back all square. And now about to go 6-4 up. Well, there's no such thing as a a dead set on this table. We've seen enough of that from the top ranked players in this tournament, and Bedhead there has cocked up a run out where it looked a dead set, and just getting up the table onto that 8 ball, he would have no problem, but just landed himself right behind. I think it was a 10 ball he landed himself right behind, and that blew his chances out the water. So we're into rack number 11. There's 3 balls have gone down in the break, and well, Bedhead simply has to get this one, you would think. 8 ball is on that top rail. Let's have a look. Well, you don't want to be playing this 8 ball from any sort of big angle. You want to make sure you get right down on it. So he's chosen the stripes, and his last ball most likely is going to be the 9 ball. That's the one he wants to leave to get on the 8 if he can help it. So he can drop over behind the 10. I think he's got an angle to stun over. And this shot here is tricky, because you've got to get the feel for the shot to get on. You either take the 11 right now when you're on it. Well, he's played that comfortably, getting back from the 10 onto the 11. Now he must leave an angle on this 12. If he pots the 11, he must leave an angle on the cue ball to pot that and come out for the 9. Well, I have to say, I don't like this. He's having to play this with top right English now to go around the corner. Well, that's one way of doing it. It's not the way I would have done it. And now it's just a gentle nudge to the pocket. But everybody's got their own way of getting there. As long as you get there, and he's got the cue ball exactly where I said about earlier on, making sure you get a good sight on it rather than leaving it too high a cut. Well, that was a pressure run out there by Bedhead. He simply had to get it, because the break is going back to acero in rack number 12, and that's why it was so important. So Bedhead still trailing by 1. Acero almost scratching on the break, but a ball has gone in, but it doesn't matter. He's at least got a shot. Now, can you see that 9? He can see the 9, so he's got a choice of solid or stripes. Now let's have a look here. Well, both of those balls there, they aren't a problem as long as you get on them. You know, all of that sort of stuff goes through your head when you're looking at the table, assessing what's the best way to go. And this is what Acero's thinking right now. He's looking at those 2 balls, he's looked at them, and he's just wondering how to get a good shot on them, because they will pot. So if you're making the decision on the solids, you've got to get somewhere here to have a shot on them, or somewhere there to have a shot. Well, he's ended up really nowhere there, but he can make the cut in the 2. Now, if he can get the angle on the 2 to go behind the 15, he can at least have a shot in the 4. Now, I like the look of that by going with top right English to go that way. But you've got to just judge the pace and not get too much juice into it. He's going top right, but you can't play this too hard. See, if you play it too hard, you're running away square, and that's what he's done there. But he's got the second chance. He's got the 6 ball. I don't know whether he played for the 6. I think he was more inclined to try and play for the 4. And the reason I say that is he's got no great position in the 6. He can only draw back, and he needs to watch he doesn't block himself. So this is now become very important. Let's have a look at the shot he's got here. Little nudge off the 14 would help, which it has. And now he's home and dry. So each rack now has become so important. But this to open up the gap again, and it goes to 7 racks to 5. And this is where Bedhead is going to feel a wee bit frustrated. The frustration will begin to creep in more because the onus is on you to do something off the break when you're trailing, and that's a disaster.
Oh dear, how sad, never mind.
The one thing you don't want to do in the break when you're trailing 7-5 in a race to 9 is scratch. And acero with ball in hand in the kitchen, and it looks as if he's going to commit to the solids because we've got those 2 balls locked up there in the middle of the table in the top end, the 10 and the 14. So he's going to take care of the problem ball. The only one ball at the top end of the table in the solids is the 6, and if he gets rid of that, then he's got no further business at the top end of the table. Everything's down here. Now, I would have to say he's got a perfect angle to get over to the side rail and get rid of that 7. There's the one you want to get rid of. And that'll do. And he's got a slight angle as well, where he can spin off the rail, a little bit of right English, get in the gap and get rid of the 4, or take the 3, whichever. He might even take the 5, just depending where he finishes. Well, he's gone. He's got a shot in the 5. How's that 5 look? Well, I would like to take the 5 and come up here and get rid of the 1, because you know the worst thing that's happened, you'd still be on the 4. Nice. Again, a nice line to run through if he wants. Needs to go far enough. And how does that look? Well, the angle's there. Can come out for the 5. Well, this is going to hurt Bedhead. A fatal error in the brake. Scratch off the brake. And he's going to go 8-5 behind. Well, he's got a mountain to climb now, and I've said it before, he's swimming against the tide. The brake goes back to acero. Oh, this time it's acero that scratched the brake, and ball in hand in the kitchen for Bedhead. We've got the 2 and the 9 are the problem balls, and of course he can't touch them. They're in the kitchen, but he has to find a way to break either of those 2 balls out, because he's going to need one of them, whichever set he chooses. And I'm looking, I mean, if he, what one could he take? The 8 balls over the left middle pocket as well. He's looking at the angle in the 6. He's possibly thinking about the 6 and trying to break this 2 ball that way. Let's see. That's what I think he's got in mind. Yes, and that'll do. That has worked out nicely. He's got the 2 broken out. And the other problem now, though, is he's created another problem. The 9 ball is blocking the 4 to the bottom right hand corner, and of course the other thing is the 14 is blocking the path of the 4 into that top corner pocket. So there's a few issues here that Bedhead has to deal with, but with all of that, the other thing is he knows that acero just needs one visit, one good visit, to finish off this match. So 7 ball hung up, acero on the stripes. Now, wait a minute here. This will be a good combo at that angle, trying to read that, because that's going to the point of the jaw, that 9. Oh, he's played it perfect. Oh dear. But then again, that's how the run of the ball goes in this game. It's so frustrating. He's played a good combo, and the 13 balls went and tied itself up against the 4. And that's a lifeline at the moment for Bedhead. And it's about the only lifeline he's got. The other one's possibly the 7 ball as a blocker for the 10, but 10 ball, there's plenty of room to get on it and get the cue ball down here to take the 10 into that pocket. 14 gets past the 5. So this is the area to be dealt with, and the little nudge has freed up the 13. But Acero has got no other shot. He's got nothing on here. So immediately Acero has a situation to deal with here to try and hide the cue ball. I don't think he's really got much options. There's not really many places he can go here. Well, if you look at it from this point of view, that 10 ball blocks the 7, so if he can nudge, if he sort of finished there, no, he can't even finish there because he can still, I can't see anything. I'm confusing myself trying to find areas to hide the cue ball. Well, the only area to hide it would be there. And he can't get there, I don't think. Can he go thin enough off that pink just to come right in there behind that 5? That would be the safe area. I think I found a safety shot. Thin off it, a feather off it, and drop in behind the 5 and leave the 10 as a blocker and no shot. He needs to slow down a bit. Well, got that far too heavy. That needed to be a lot more gentle, but he had the right idea at the end there to try and hide in behind the 5. It needed to finish just there, and that would have been perfect. So now, well, Bedhead has got no choice. From where he's situated, he has to some way get on that 4 ball. Now, it'd be risky to try and find a gap there off this 5 ball. Well, now he has a choice. He's got the potting angle on the 3, and the cue ball can run up into that 4. He doesn't really need to improve the situation in the 4 ball, he just needs to get on it. But it's the same problem again, he's running out of options and you're going to have to deal with it now. You can just roll that 1 in and leave the shot on the 4. You can then take the 2 and then pot that 7. So just a little bit of running English, a bit of top, just to nudge that 13 out the way. And just baby this 2 ball in. Now this 8 ball's probably going to get into the same pocket as the 2, so he just needs to have a look at that 7 ball and where it's sitting in that pocket, because you don't want to try and get too tricky. And that will do. So Bedhead has escaped once, and he gets it back to 8 racks to 6, and he gets the break, and he simply has to get a ball in the break and try and do something. That's all in the lap of the gods, as they say. And he ain't getting any joy, I don't think. And look at these balls again. These balls are split perfect. Oh, he has got a ball. What the hell went in? 15 ball, I never even seen it. Well, that is a bonus if he can actually get the run out. I never even seen that 15 ball going in. God, usually it goes in for some strange reason. In previous matches, it's been getting into that corner pocket there. I don't know how. But anyway, Bedhead's made the choice in the solids. Well, he's going to try and drop through in the rail. He has to drop right onto the rail. Now, can he comfortably see the one? And more importantly, he's dead straight, so he needs to draw back. At worst, he's going to draw right up the table and have a shot in the 3. But he's played that perfect. Got the actual draw on it under full control. Just enough to bring it back. And now he's got a slightly more of an angle in this 4 than he really likes. The reason for that is he's got to get good on this 5 ball. Now, the little stun he's played was well controlled, because there's always a danger of letting it get away and going too far or not getting enough into it and running to the 11. So now he's got a simple little shot here, just to come down with a tiny feather of left to avoid anywhere near that 14 and come up the table far enough to get on the 8. Well, he's just a wee bit more juice in that than I would have liked to have played myself, but he should be okay. Well, it's another one. Another one back for Bedhead, but this is where he can do absolutely nothing, because the break's gone back to acero. And Bedhead is just fingers crossed hoping acero doesn't get a ball in the break. But he has done. The 5 ball has gone. There's a couple of balls tied up in the top right hand corner there. The pink 12 and the 14 stripe are not in the best of positions. But all the solid balls, well, these solid balls, again, they are not too bad. Let's have a look at this problem here, because if he gets rid of the 1, the 2 will go in off the jaw, but it's tight. He's got to find a better way of getting onto that 2. Oh, that's unlucky, because if that 13 ball had rolled away, he could have played the 2 in off the 9. And now the 2's locked up. So Bedhead, at the moment, still has a lifeline in this match. And he's tried to leave the 2 into the corner, and he's got on it. Oh, the pressure's on acero, but no problem there. And just has to come far enough up the table to get himself on this 4. Well, that's a bit... This is a little tricky, because he's got to play the English. The inside English has to bring the cue ball back. And this match is over. So a strong performance, it has to be said, by acero. And he has taken out Bedhead by 9 racks to 7. That's a very good match. That's worth watching again, so it is. So let's have a look. Well, Bedhead saying it himself, errors killed me. Well, there wasn't an awful lot of mistakes made in that match, as to be said, but when they did come, they were crucial. They cost racks, and that's the difference between winning and losing by 9 racks to 7. So let's see where that puts the loser side bracket. Well, Tommy Yu has beaten River City by 9 racks to 4, and Tommy Yu is going to be playing acero to see who gets to the one loss side final. Now, of course, whoever wins on that match between Tommy Yu and the winner of today's match, acero, they're going to be sitting there, and the bad news for them is they're going to be playing the loser of the hot seat match, which is between Semi-Pro and Franco. So if either of these two guys have to progress to the final, they're going to have to beat either of the two hottest players in the tournament, and that would be Franco and acero. So, well, if you're going to win any tournament, you're still going to have to beat the best. So, you know, and we've seen what can happen. This one lost side, a race to 9, it's not a long run, and this alternate break definitely does change the course of a match, especially dry breaks and scratches in a break. We've seen it all in that match we've just watched. So anyway, I'll hopefully have the Tommy Yu match and a acero match whenever that might be, but they've got until June the 22nd to get it played, so we're a while away from probably those guys playing. But until then, folks, I will thank those who were watching or are watching, and we will see you again sometime soon, no doubt.